Hello friends, today I'll be installing linear rails on Ender 3 original on the X and the Y axis, which I purchased from AliExpress. As you can see, I have already removed the bed mounting and the X gantry. So first I will start assembling the bed, and after that I will do the X axis linear rails assembly. So let's get started. For mounting the Y-axis rails, you will get MGN 12H, 2 rails, 300 mm each, side plate for fixing the bed. These are the 2 side plates. You get M3 by 8 and M3 by 6, M5 and M3 nuts. So for mounting the rails, you will need M3 by 8, and for mounting the side plate on to the MGN rail, you will need M3 by 6. So let's get started by assembling this. So first I will move the T-nuts. For that I'll need M3 by 8, which is this. So I'll need 6 of this. So leaving alternate holes. So first one will go here and the corresponding T-nut. Yeah, this is a bit oily, so it slips. Tighten this reasonable enough so that it doesn't move, not fully tighten. What we are going to do is first mount it like this, and then loosen it fully, and then retighten it. So this way it will be easy to do the installation. So I will complete the remaining. Second one will go here. So M3 by 8 and the T-nut. The third one will go here. The third, again M3 by 8. So here 1 empty, 2 empty, 3. Likewise complete the whole thing for both the reels. So I will pause the video and complete this and come back. Now as you can see, I have completed the T-nut installation. So alternate this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on both the reels, the T-nut installation I have done. Now this way it will be a little bit easy for me to do the installation. This way, over here there is a screw on the start and it's empty here. So we'll do that the same thing but the opposite side. So this way. So one side the screw is over here and the other side the screw is over here. So we'll start with the assembly. Before that I need to show I have removed the end stop over here, the Y-axis end stop. Let me get the gantry up. You can see I have disconnected this in order to mount, because if you go with the original position, it's very close to the linear rail. So we have to take it a little bit behind this hole. So we have 3 holes here. I'm taking it for the second hole, and I put a T-nut here which came with the kit. So one screw, machine screw, this is thing M4, will go to the center hole, and the second one will be with the T-nut. Now I will start mounting the Y-axis linear rail. Loosen the first screw to the full and then retighten it fully. Do not fully tighten it, just reasonably enough to hold the rail. Similarly for the last screw, fully loosen it and then retighten it. So the rail should be fixed to the profile, it should not come out. After that we'll mount to the other side. So we'll mount on the other side with y-axis profile, adjust to the same starting position as the opposite one, and loosen the first screw like the other one and fully tighten it, not fully tighten, slightly, so that it holds the rail in position. And the last screw the same way, fully loosen it and re-tighten it, not to the full extent but reasonable enough so that it holds the profile, the rail in place. Now we'll take these two alignments. We have to just align this so that they be at the same height. So we'll loosen the first screw and the last screw which we have tightened it, and then now when we tighten this, we have to tighten tight enough so that it doesn't move. Now the screws which are in the middle, we have to loosen it fully and re-tighten it so that it holds the T-nut into the profile. Now do the same thing for the other profile. I will pause the video, complete the tightening of this screw on the other profile and come back. Okay, I have mounted the linear rails on the y-axis profile, the 2040. Make sure that you lubricate this before you assemble. I did put some machine oil to this one before I assemble, so make sure you don't forget to do that. After mounting it, just slide it and see it should not have any friction. So if you have any friction, we need to adjust the nuts, T-nuts. So these are moving freely, so should be good to go with. So I'll proceed with mounting these brackets. Make sure that this brackets for Ender 3 original, it should be mounted the top position facing outwards. So as per the documentation, you have to mount it inwards this way, but that I guess is for the newer version of Ender 3. This is the very old version, the original one. So for this we need to mount it the other side, facing opposite of each other, this way. So let me mount this. To mount this, we will need M3 by 6. These are M3 by 6. So you need 4 and 8. Just mount this. Don't over tighten this, or don't tighten this enough. You just need to mount it so that it can hold it in place. So we will do further. We will tighten it once we mount the bed. So for right now, just put the screws and keep it loose. So this way, the same way you have to mount on the other side. I will mount it and come back. Let me pause the video. Okay, I have mounted the side plates. They are just holding it in place with the screws. They are not tight enough. So we need to mount the bed plate. After that we are going to tighten it, because once you mount it, this might bring some friction. So we need to adjust that later. So I am mounting the bed plate. So this is the same plate which came with the original Ender 3. It's the same one I'm using it. The inner side, and this is slightly bigger side here. So this is the back side, so which is thin, that has to accommodate for the motor. For this you will need to take M5 cap headed screws. These are the ones, 4, which will go in this position, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me get this mounted. Again, to not tighten this, we will tighten it later. So just make sure that it is loose enough. see the friction. We have to see now if there is any friction. So by doing this, it should move freely. So what we'll do now, we have to put the belt back to the plate. So we'll fix the belt first. And we have to tension the belt good enough. After tensioning, then we are going to tighten the plates here. So let me get the belt tension and I'll pause the video meanwhile. So belt tensioning is done now, and now we'll tighten the bed mounting plate. This should be tight enough so that it doesn't wobble. So right now it's quite loose, so we'll tighten the screws and cross diagonal order 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't see any friction till now, so this is good enough. So we'll mount the side plates. We have to tighten this one. So when you are tightening, we have to tighten again in diagonal order of the screws. So there are 4 screws, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and the same on the other side. Do not fully tighten it, tighten it slowly. As you tighten it, we have to move the bed plate back and forth to see if there is any friction. So I don't see any friction as of now, so I'll mount the other side. Tighten the screws on the other side. Okay, till now no friction. So I'll tighten it a little bit. Again, it should be done in diagonal order. There is no friction, so we are good enough for this. So we'll just wiggle and see if there is any wobble. So no, good enough. So we are done assembling the y-axis linear rails and put on the bed, and then we'll proceed with the x-axis. So I'll come back after I put on the build plate. Okay, now I have mounted the build plate. I don't see any friction. So we'll mount the end stop, Y end stop. As you can see here, the machine screw is over here, the headed one, and a T-nut. So the machine screw is right below the limit switch, which is this one, and the T-nut is below the connector, the housing, JST housing. This is the 3-pin JST housing. So we'll be mounting it over here. Here you have 3 screws, 3 holes. So the first 1, 2, and 3 will be mounting the machine screw for the second, and then the T-nut from the outside. So the y-axis is done fully, and now we'll move on to the x-axis. So I will now mount the x-axis rail, the linear rail. For that you need this brackets. On this brackets you have M3 and M4 screws. The M4 screws will go here with the T-nuts, and that will be mounted to the back of the profile this way. So you have 3 of this, so this should be evenly distributed. So 1, 2, and 3. So this will go on the back of the profile here. I have already mounted the screws. Okay, now I've turned the printer and we'll mount the brackets. Just tighten by hand. No need to fully tighten it. We need to adjust this once we put on the linear rail. we need to align the linear rails holes to as per the holes for the bracket here. So just by hand tighten it, that's enough. So we have this linear rail here, so this will be mounted onto this bracket, so we have to adjust the holes accordingly. Do not tighten this, we'll put all the screws enough and then we'll adjust the tension by using this alignment brackets. Okay, so we will complete the assembly of X-axis linear rails. So we need these two alignment jigs. So put one here and the other one here. So this will make sure that the linear rail stays at the center of the profile. Now we'll slowly tighten up this screw. Not fully tighten it, just tighten enough, and later on we have to readjust this. And now we need to tighten up this, just so that we can realign and tighten it again, not fully tighten it. So just slide and see that there is no friction. Again, make sure that you lubricate this by put some oil in it. I did this before off camera, so this is good enough. So now we can tighten this good enough. Let's put the alignment jigs again and we can tighten this. Make sure once again that sliding this does not create any friction. So now we'll put on the X carriage. So this carriage, X carriage, extruder one, we have to mount it this way. So the holes, these 4 holes will be aligned over here, and these two, these are I think it's M4, they will go over here in this holes. These are the original wheel mounting holes, the top one. For this we have to mount the bracket this way. So let me do this. Make sure that this is seated properly and we can fully tighten this. So these holes on top, these 4 holes will be aligned with the NGM rail this way. So to mount this, we will need M3 by 6 into 4. Do not fully tighten it, just by hand tightening is enough. We have to adjust it right there. Now this has been fixed here. We have to tighten this. Now when you tighten up, make sure you go diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4. Now don't do fully tight, just tight enough, and then we go for the second round. So now we will tighten this enough and make sure that there is no it's moving freely, then there is no resistance in this. So no wobble, good enough, and just slightly tight enough. I get some resistance now, I'll make it a little loose. Yes. It's good enough. So we will put the belt tensioning now. we'll mount the belt. And now we will tension the belt. Don't tension it too tight, just reasonable enough. Finally, test again and make sure that there is no binding, just the last time. Looks good enough. Now we'll mount the extruder. First we'll put the cable back. And finally we'll mount the cable holder. We'll install the filament runout sensor. Okay, our entire assembly is mounted. I guess everything is done now, and now it's time to do the test. So we shall now do the homing and test the printer. So first we'll do individual axis. First we'll test the x-axis homing, then the y, and then all axis. We'll proceed with homing. Home, so home x, home y, home z, home all. Okay, so everything looks okay. So I'm done assembling the linear rails. So the remaining testing I will do it separately. Thank you everyone for watching this video.